Welcome to another day of learning. Today is day 27, where I build the flight booking engine. Yesterday in day 26, you saw me hustling with a bug, and a bug which seemed quite challenging to fix. But later after the stream, actually, let me say immediately after the stream, I figured out the right thing to do. It's so funny. And the only person to blame is me, okay, for two reasons. At the beginning of the stream, I did the right thing. Then later, I don't know why Zekton removed it, okay? But it's quite simple, and I'll show you what that bug is, okay? So today we're going to do two things, okay? We shall complete price validation, and then I will go ahead to implement Zustand storage, okay? Persistent storage, okay? Yeah, it has to be persistent so that we don't have to refresh our page again and again. So I'll run the front end, npm run dev, then come here, run the backend, docker compose app, okay? So that's okay. So I can now go in the browser to access the application. If I open, here it is, okay? So I want to just show you briefly the issue that we're facing. Say London, okay, pick a date, maybe 10th, make it one way, okay, then search flights. Okay, looks like there's been more of an issue that I haven't figured out yet, okay. What is this? So it looks like the navigation is not happening, okay. I see this, it's just bouncing off. Wow. So turns out I still have more issues, okay. Says the cross origin request detected from that. You need to explicitly configure allowed. Oh no, it's okay. Let's do this. Okay, use localhost. Wow, what's this? Localhost. Let's be lowercase. Localhost 30,000, not 517, like that. And then this will be NYC to London. This date one way. Hit search. Okay, so you see it's successful. Okay, and then just to show you the issue, okay, concerning price selection. When we select the flight, okay, I want to show what happened yesterday and the simple fix, okay, for it. It's here, okay, we get this unprocessable entity, okay, and you saw me trying to struggle around JSON stringifying this, okay, and wondering what is wrong with the backend, okay. But what was missing was simply to say that to add a header, okay, to specify the exact content type, okay. Come here and say content type, like you see AI is suggesting, but lowercase, okay, content type, application, JSON. As simple as this. This was the issue, okay. Now, one more thing. You see, when we go back to this other page, okay, if I refresh, you see, it says no flights found, and yet we found flight data. This should not happen. But using persistent storage, it is possible, okay? To make sure that even if we go to a back page or a front page or refresh the page, we have our information, okay? So I'm going to show you one more time. I'll say NYC just for you, so that you understand the problem. London, get the departure, say it's one day, leave the adults, children, and infants, okay? So searching, let's wait and see. Sometimes it takes longer, I guess, because of, yeah, here we are, okay? So look at this. If I refresh the page, we lose the data, okay? That's the issue. So we're going to go back, pick a one-way flight, I'll specify the city code, specify this other city code. Okay, and hit send. So we get this. Okay, if I select a flight, this time you see we get appropriate data. Okay, the result. You see, look at the type. If you look at the type, this flight offers pricing. So the flight data, they think the price of the particular flight was confirmed. So the bug was simply not adding this header here, content type application JSON. Okay, so take note of that. Okay, so let me just take note of this chart. Okay, yeah, so that is it. So what I now need to do is to, I think, let me first start by implementing persistent storage. Okay, so that when I refresh the page like this, we have our flight data. Okay, so this should be as simple as making a Google search. I'll come and I say persistent storage with Zustand. There should be a way. Okay, if there's no way, then I might have to maybe change my data store. So I'll open this Zustand docs. I'll open this. Okay, you can even see people using have videos already on it as far as 2-3 years ago. So I guess it's possible. Okay, you can even see Stack Overflow, people having it. Okay, so let's see what let me see what is here. Doesn't seem clear. I'll pick this other one. So this one says persisting stored data. So here it says the persist middleware enables you to store user stand state in a storage. For example, local storage, async storage, index DB, etc. Data thus persisting data. So saying note that this middleware supports both synchronous storages like local storage and asynchronous storages like async storage. But using an asynchronous storage does not come with a cost. I mean, does come with a cost. It has a cost. So there's a C hydration for that. Okay. I guess I can start with the synchronous storages for this MVP. So here we have, say, from the import create from Zustand, then they import persist create JSON storage from Zustand. Okay. Then they have the use bear create. Then they wrap everything with persist. Okay. Let me see. So persist is the function. Okay. Then they have set get. Okay. So then they have another example with TypeScript. Okay. So they have options here. Let me see what's up here. These ones are using session storage. Okay. If you notice, they're using, okay, but I think option by default they're using local storage. Okay, not a problem. Let me scroll. Let me see, they have options. There's a name. This is the only required option. So where's name here? This one here. Okay, the name of the item in the storage, which must be unique. So this is the option. Then the next thing they're saying is what? Is storage. Okay, they're saying storage can be imported with import storage from Zustand middleware. So if I go to storage, this is create storage, create storage, storage. Okay, so they're saying the default create JSON storage returns local storage. It's not that hard. I'm trying to skim through to see if I can get a simple example. Okay. Yeah. So I guess let us follow what they have. Okay. So let's read this. Okay. So they say they have a method called create. Okay, which is this. In fact, let me copy it. So I'll copy this and go to the code base. Come here to flights.js and just paste it here. Okay. So we follow, because in the editor we shall be able to know which bracket ends where. So if I like put my cursor here, you see that this is referring to this end bracket. Okay, this one. So create. Then inside we have persist. If I close persist, so you see persist wraps everything. It's this bracket here which is purple. Okay, this purple bracket. Then create is this orange or yellow bracket. So if I open this, you see that persist now has, I think, two things. Okay, it has set get. It has a function which takes set and get as arguments and has another object down here. Okay, if I open the first one, you see it has the actual state. Okay, to be set or to be got. In our case, it would be all this. Then after that, when I open here, they now talk about the name of the item in the storage, which must be unique. Then the actual storage. Okay, and it's saying it is optional by default. Hello, Job. How are you? How are you doing today? Thank you for watching along. So, yeah, I think this is how I understand it. I don't know if it also makes sense to you. Job, are you the Job I know, or this is some other job? Yeah, encouraging that you're okay. I hope you're loving this, the streams. I'm okay, Job. Thanks for asking. So let's go back to the docs. So this is an example, okay, but using TypeScript. I won't need that for now. So here they're actually showing us other examples, okay? Like they're saying this, they're just explain the options, okay? So the one option is called the name, which is required. So the name is this one here, okay, for the storage. The other one is called the storage, okay, which can be imported like this. You can import it like this. And they're saying by default, it returns local storage. It uses local storage. So they're saying enables you to use your own storage, okay? Simply pass a function that returns the storage you want to use. Then they're saying it is recommended to use the create JSON storage helper function to create a storage object. It's recommended to use the create JSON storage helper function to create a storage object that is compliant with the state storage interface. Job, are you understanding what we are studying? Do these things make sense to you, what we are building? Because sometimes when we are building, or anybody else, questions to everyone. So they have an example here, the import persist and create storage. Okay. Then I'm seeing them returning async storage. Okay. Okay, let's just do the basic, okay? There's no need even to go through all this. Just to keep it really simple. In fact, now that we know what it does, you know that we can even prompt AI to do it for us. Okay. In any case, if we fall into trouble, then we can simply undo. Okay. So I'll undo this. Okay. Then I select all this. Okay. I think this command I, and I say refactor to use to persist state using persist state to local storage. And this will be asynchronous. Let's try out and we see. Okay. If and then we can always go. Job, I'm happy to know that you're learning and picking the things. Time to we can accept and then we oh my god. look at what AI has done. Okay. So it has created a function called get initial state. Then it is getting an item from local storage using this key. Okay, local storage key. Then if there's something in the local storage, okay, there's a try and catch. It can then return that item from storage. Oh my god. Jesus. Are you seeing this? You didn't understand. You didn't get it. Okay. So yeah, just to show you that sometimes you may ask AI to do something and it disappoints you. So let's do this, okay? So I'll copy this. In fact, earlier on, I think I saw something from Gemini, okay? And it was actually more accurate. When I think I was researching sometime back. And I said they just said probably say Zustand persists 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 state, and I see what happens. AI always gives suggestions, but I don't know what. Oh, it's down here. You get? And it is an example. Okay. Yeah, I think this is closer to what we saw in the documentation. But let's do our own stuff. Okay. So like I'll show you, the first thing is to import persist and create this JSON storage. Okay. Then after that, we have this function called persist. Okay. I'll come up here and say persist. Okay. And what is persist? It's actually a functions like so. Okay. Then what does persist take? If I copy this again and I paste it here so that I show you, okay? We have persist, okay? Persist has two things, okay? This first block and this second block, okay? So even here we need two blocks, okay? You just separate them with a comma and put what stuff there, okay? If you look at this one is simply a function, okay, with two parameters, set and get. So let me duplicate the same thing. I come up here and I say set of a function, okay, set, comma get. Job is asking, sorry to ask, what are we using persist for? All right, let me answer your question, Job, okay? To answer your question, let me do this. Okay, let me just show you in the browser, okay? So are you seeing here? We had flight information, which was stored in our state. But once you refresh the page or you click back, okay, you lose it. And because you've lost that state, you'll get this message saying no flights found, which is bad. Okay, in fact, on this page, we should never have this message. This page should only be shown when there's a flight. Actually, by the even when there are no flights, it's okay. You can show it actually, by the way, because when you search and there's no flight, that is normal. But when there's a flight data like we had, it was not appear. You lose it. Let me show you. Let me Control Z. Okay, let me undo all this. Let me undo this. Let me undo this. Save. Okay. Go back to the dashboard. So watch this job. I'm going to search for a flight from NYC to London. The departure date will be maybe on Sunday. It's one-way economy. Okay. Maybe just say two adults and one child. Okay. I search for flights. Let's be patient as it searches for flights. So here we are, okay, with what? 5 flights, okay, from the cheapest to the most expensive, okay. But now, take note of this job, okay. I'll copy this URL just to show you. If I refresh, I see we lose the state. That's why we need to persist it so that we don't lose it. Even if I go back, okay, and do a search NYC, okay, we shall have the information, okay. But I want to show you another example. One way, again, 2 adults, 1 child search, okay. Same thing is faster because our backend has now stored it. It knows it remembers that search, okay. Now if I go to the same page, okay, to different, are you seeing this? This page has the data. This other page does not have the data. Are you seeing that issue, guys? Job, do you understand the problem? Another third case, okay? If I say select flight, okay? Select flight. Did I change something or what? I think I changed something concerning since it's still compiling that page. I must have changed something, okay? But you get the issue, okay? We lose the what? The state. Okay? We lose the state. So that is why we need to persist the state. So let's work on that, okay? So I wanted, like, you know how I learn. I like learning sometimes from documentation, okay? So I just copied this, okay? And so that we replicate it in our own code base, okay? So I'd seen that in the implementation, the documentation, they have persist, okay? So but use persist, we have to first import it, okay? So I copied this line of code and I pasted it here. Then now we need to come here and say persist, okay? Persist is simply a function, okay? And that function has 2 arguments, okay? Persist has 2 arguments. This other function and this other object. Those are 2 things. Says so. So there is a way we can save the attributes in our URL so that we can share the URL. Yeah, basically, by the way, that is something we can do. Okay. About sharing the URL, that's not a use case I'd thought about. So let me ask. Let me think out loud. If I had searched maybe for a certain flight, so I'm thinking, why would I share it? So for example, with your job, probably if we're going to the same place and you wanted to see the price, so I would give you and probably you see the same flight data. Okay. Yeah. So you're asking, is there a way we can save the attributes to our URL? Yeah, we can do that. So that let me show you. Where I think this way we are navigating to a particular flight. Okay. Even before this, okay, we can put the flight data as params, okay, like maybe question mark, flight underscore ID equals to this, okay, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's a good suggestion, by the way, Job. It is something I think I should consider. Since I put the title as Zustand storage and the thumbnail is saying persistent state, let me not divert so that we keep the topic the same. But that's a good idea, because if I search from London to New York and I give you the URL, you should be able to just paste that URL and get the same results for the same place. Yeah, that's smart, by the way. And that would mean, by the in our URL it would look something like this. Okay, shall say flights, then a question mark with all the data. Okay, the location code and all that. Okay. Yeah, good one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's continue. So like I was telling you, I'm just trying to replicate this. We have these 2, I can copy, paste, okay. Then there's an object down here. So what's failing? In our case now, are you seeing this? It's now changes, okay? We don't need to call anymore like this, okay? So it will be like so. That would mean we lose a bracket down here, okay? And then all this comes inside and replaces all this, like so. Okay, so that we have access to set and get. Well, why is this still here? All this is mistake. Then now we have this other part, okay? Can now copy this and replace here. Then all this other stuff, don't we only need 2 brackets with commas. So this goes away, there's a comma there. But there's something else missing in structure. I do not know. I can't see what I've left out. But let's see. We have create state. What is this error for? Saying expected a comma. Why do you expect a comma? Oh, this actually, this is supposed to be like this. Okay. Just like you see. Yes. So we have, I think that is it. I can now remove all this. So ideally, this is what we have. Okay. If I minimize this a little bit, we have create. Okay. With persist. Okay. Having the set and get our list of flights, the selected flight, a flight for you that a function to help us select the current flight, and a function to update the flights, okay, to update this array. Then of course this has to change, okay. This I can call it flights storage, okay. Say optional, by default local storage is used. So since it's optional, I can remove it, okay. So that by default they use local storage, okay. All right, so let us test it and we see. Fingers crossed, from NYC to London, a one-way trip on this date. Search. Today kind of feel tired, okay? Let's see if I refresh the page. Job, do you see that? We're now okay. I mean everybody. I don't want to seem like I'm talking to only Job. So you see, our state is persisted. So even if we refresh multiple times, we don't lose it. So even if I copied this URL, as long as you're the same user and I came to this tab, we have the data. You get. So this is how you can persist state. Okay. Yeah. So that's how sometimes I navigate around these libraries. Okay. I cannot say I'm a superstar using Zustand, but I have got it working for me to help me achieve what I want. So yeah, that's one goal done. But Job had an idea. Okay. Imagine this URL. Okay. Had something like, for example, a question mark. Okay. It is built up by, for example, like say origin. Let me just copy all this, okay, and take it to, let me write it here. No, this side so that you understand it properly, okay? Put a comment. Let me see the chat. Job says, nice. I didn't know it's this simple using Zustand. Yeah, Zustand is pretty easy. Job, I think probably you've done React. I mean not React, Redux. You faced the pain of Redux. It's very easy. So look at this. Zustand. This is how I get what? The function to select a flight, to set a flight. Very simple and painless. Who have done Redux, I don't know if you guys know about Redux. However much you try with a Redux toolkit, it still has some pain. You have to cry. So guys, look at this suggestion by Job, okay? And I like it. I love it. Assuming instead of if our flight URL was like this, okay, with query parameter with query parameters like origin, location code, origin location equals to something like maybe NYC, okay, and probably maybe price equals to maybe this, okay, and probably we say maybe destination, maybe you say destination equals to maybe London, okay. We built a URL having all the information, okay, that someone has searched for, so that when they search for it, it can come to this page, okay, and show this information always, okay. But then also, okay, in the long, doesn't mean not long term, but if you share the same link with someone, okay, they can regenerate the same, they can have the same data. Because this, if you share this link with someone, okay, just like this, they won't be able to get these results. Do you know that? They won't be able to get the results. Because the state which has been persisted is on the machine of the client. Unless we persist the state like to, for example, maybe an external an external storage. That is when maybe it can work. But at this case, it won't. Okay. Of course, in my mind, I didn't have that plan to share links, okay, with people. So yeah, we can leave it for now. Maybe add it later as an maybe as an added advantage later. Okay. Let me just focus on the MVP. But his idea is very good. It can help you to share links so that more than one person can replicate someone's flight search results. Okay. So yeah, I'll do it actually when now I'm scaling the application. Thank you, Job. I appreciate your input. All right. Now that this is okay, let's now, yeah, persistent state is now working. Okay. Using Zustand, we're persistent state, everything's okay. So let's go back. And of course, we fixed the bug concerning price flight validation. But let's go ahead and complete this component, okay? And call it a day. So I see in this. Let me check the console. Did anything in the console? Refresh. Select flight. Why is there no action? I'm interested. Let me see the network tab. Looks like nothing is happening. Let me investigate this. Looks like my name should be Mr. Bugs. Because bugs are part of me. So you seeing this? I'm calling this function. When you select flight, I want to change the cursor actually. Say hover. This is now testing my tailwind. Hover, cursor, cursor. Is it cursor pointer? Yes, like that. Thanks to autocomplete. So if I hover this time, the cursor should change the pointer. Yeah, this is now better. So now the challenge is to figure out why it's not showing that. But before that, I even want to test something. Let me go back one more time. Okay, so you see this issue, but this is still okay. I won't complain. So reload. Wait, were we working with a dead application? No, it's a different address. I hit the back button many times. I was going to go crazy and be like, what's going on? So London. This time we put a return date. Okay. Change the class to business. One child, one infant. Search. And this is where I actually agree with Joby's idea. Okay. Instead of leaving that thing saying searching, okay, I should immediately bring a user to this page. Okay. But as I bring a user to this page, the URL changes with that data they have been searching, they've been using for search. So click. Yeah, for example, it doesn't, it's not moving. Okay. I'm curious. Let us see. Do we reach this part? Console.log. Okay, and say selected flight. Why would it not work? So you see, we get selected flight. If I click this, you see we get selected flight, and if I open this, it's a different flight. Okay. If you look at the price, you see it's the price. I mean the grand total is this. Okay. So who can guess? Why is the router that push not working? Not guessing, but who can figure it out? Because guessing seems would assume I know it, and I'm trying to hide it from the rest of you. But trust me, that's not the case. So you see, but for some reason we can't navigate. Let me trick it and see. Window.href, what's happening? Window.href equals to just this, okay? Window.location.href. I want to see what's going to happen. If I click, you see, the default stuff works, okay? Question is, why isn't router working? Let me uncomment. Crazy. If I go back, you see, because of locus of persistent state, we get our data back, okay? I'm just realizing right now that actually this project has a lot of work to do, and I have to just find a way of probably sparing like 2 hours every morning and 1 hour in the evening if I'm able to finish it quickly. I wanted to finish the MVP at least this month if possible. So you see when you select a flight, okay, I think this dragging how the window is loading, okay, and even then this is not triggered, okay. Just a moment. Okay, the same thing. This is where now we need the real React gurus, okay. Says failed to load resource. If you look at the request, okay, localhost /flight/1 preview, okay. So the URL I think is correct. If I go to here, app, we have flights, ID, page.tsx, okay. This should do fine. Usually when I get these errors, I ask myself, am I navigating to the right, what do they call it? To the right page, okay? That should be the question. So I think permanent, we get a permanent redirect. Why did you get a permanent redirect? Do we have something on that page? Maybe we could have something on this page that is causing issues. This other page actually has nothing. This is where I need to get water. Just a moment. I'll be back. I'm starting to think I am using uh, either router.push wrongly or something. Because if I just did this, okay, it would I guess it would work, okay, and navigate to the right page. Are you seeing that very easily? If I came and said, and maybe I commented out this other part, okay, and I used router.push, okay, simply to the root like this, okay, and I hit select flight. I see it works, okay, both of them work. So doesn't it mean that the link I'm using is wrong? Job is saying if it's possible, you can do something like flight 3 or something. Yeah, that's the actually the goal. If I control Z, okay, that is supposed to be the goal, like flights, okay, slash flight.id, okay. So the question is, what are we actually? Is this syntax correct? That's the question we should be asking. Okay, is the syntax correct? There should be wrong with this, something wrong with this. Okay, but like of course, like you said, Job, I can show you that. Let me go to the console. Okay, on next select. Okay, you see we have a flight with ID 1. Okay, so I can test it out for you. And you remove this and you say flights slash 1 like that. Okay, save, click. Okay, are you seeing? It doesn't, it redirects the same page actually. Okay, so maybe it's supposed to be without a forward slash. Probably. Refresh. No. So this is what I'm telling you. If I said set it like you're suggesting, okay, it's the same thing. There's something wrong with this endpoint, which I'm not yet figuring out. Because if you look at app, do it's supposed to it's supposed to be what do they call them? Dynamic routes. By the guys, didn't that I did this correctly yesterday? Did you remember? So how is it possible that I did something correct yesterday and today it's wrong? Interesting. So if you just did this, okay, if you just did slash flights, are you seeing it brings you back to this same page? Okay. So this one here is correct. Okay. Flights refers to this page.tsx, guys. Okay. What we want is flights page inside this one, which is a what they call the dynamic route. This ID represents a dynamic route. Hmm. This is going to be what they call dancing to the tune. Let me see. Maybe if I go to documentation, I may get, can I call it like a hint of something which is or which is being done wrong. Where is this documentation, the dynamic routes? Okay, use router. Yeah, yes, they're just querying. That's what I'm looking for. Just go to use router. Excuse me. So here you have a handle click. Casing this router dot push. The href. That's what I'm looking for. Here they explain it's like its properties, okay? But that's not what I'm looking for. So here they give an example, okay? I think this. Look at read this. It's saying navigating pages post dynamic route.js, which is a dynamic route, okay? You do like this. Router.push slash post slash abc, where abc is that dynamic PID, which they are referring to here. Then if they're saying redirecting the user to login.js, okay, you just do something like this, okay? I'm looking for other examples. Are you seeing? Yeah, okay, this is the same. So you're saying with you can use URL object in the same way, use it for next link, but that's not what I want. Then they have router.replace. I know what replace does. Replace make sure that when you hit the back button, you cannot go back to the previous page. As simple as that, because the browser works like a stack. So, question is, what am I doing wrong? Is there something on this page that could be wrong? Probably it's coming here, but it's hopping away from it because of probably something causing a redirection. Let us see these links. No, this wouldn't cause. Let me just investigate this page carefully. Do you know what's going on in my mind? Why didn't you commit your work yesterday to make sure you have something which is only working? Does it expect a string? Let me inspect. I want to inspect and see. No, what was even if you inspect, you cannot see. You can't see the actual value. Mm, did the terminal print anything? Oh, guys, look at this. Look at this. Select flight. Do we get anything? Let me clear this console. Right? The terminal might actually be. In fact, it's even harder to debug when you're not getting any warning. Okay, so are you seeing this? This was compiled. Okay, flight's ID was compiled. Let us see. Guys, are you seeing this rubbish? This is rubbish. Do you see what's on the screen? It has moved to this page correctly. So the code had no problem. So this is an issue of, I think, Nextjs, how it behaves in development. Like I was almost pulling out hair from my head, wondering what's going on. Are you seeing the URL? flight/1, and now it finally built. That's why I was saying, let me rebuild this. Are you seeing this? It finally compiled that page that we wanted and then returned the 200. That's crazy. Okay, let's go back. Okay, let me go to maybe random one here. There we are. It's not working. The page hadn't been compiled. This is weird, by the way. This is new behavior. I think I need to to learn to revise Next.js again. Guys, you see this? Does this make sense to you? So you see, if I click on this, we come here. I think the ID /4, flight 4. If I come to this other one, the last one, flight 5. Okay, with no issue. If I go back, pick this one, there we are. I think flight 1. If I go back, pick randomly this one, flight 3. The page works. So yeah, it was an issue. It was a Next.js issue, not our issue. We had to recompile, and it had not built those pages. And I just spent 10 minutes on it. Crazy, even more, wasting my time. So let's go to the next page. So this page, like you can see, previously here, it's showing this price, but if I click, you see so the correct price. Okay. Why? Because I was using mock data, so we need to change it. Okay. So if you have any question, please ask. Okay. Don't fear to ask. There's no stupid question. And personally, yes, things are now making sense to me. So maybe just to show you step by step what has been done so far. Okay. The first thing is that before we finish up quickly, we have a store for Zustand. Okay. This one here. Okay. And it is persisting our state to local storage using this persist function. In addition to that, we integrated the backend starting from this page. Okay. Not starting from here, but we have this page that renders flight offer cards. Okay. But all these flights are coming from our storage. Okay. Our state management tool, Zustand. These are flights. How to get these flights here? I'll show you a component, the booking form. Okay. In the booking form, you see we have we have this function here. Okay. For submitting. Okay. That makes a request. Okay. To our backend. This is the endpoint. Okay. This URL simply represents the endpoint. And again, I'll share this code you check the repo in the description to see the code. So this is the URL we have, okay? And then we fetch, okay, our await response to JSON. Then we update flights data. This function update flights data is what I showed you last time in Zustand, okay? Our store, where is the store? This store here, flights.js. This function is being called. This function updates this list, okay? So where's the component booking form? So we do that, then we push to the flights page, okay, to see the list of results. But like Job said, I plan to instead of just saying push flights, okay, might want to build a URL, okay, here, having the origin, okay, something like this, okay. I think what AI is suggesting. Say origin equals to form.origin, destination equals to form.destination, departure equals to form.departure, etc. Okay, with all the data that the user searched for. So that link is shareable and someone can have the same results, okay? Anybody in the world can have the same results that you searched for. But I'll control Z. I just want to mention that. So that maybe later actually you can hold me accountable and we implement it. But that will be after the MVP is done. So we move to the flights page. I'll delete this. Okay. Where we render these flight cards, okay? And these flight cards, when we click on a flight card, we go to the particular flight, okay? Which is now here, where we are here. So now we just need to, but on this flight page here, on a particular flight page, we first confirm its price, okay? we run this, we make a call to our backend, okay? Using this endpoint, okay? We send an HTTP method, mean HTTP request of type post, whose method is post, okay? And we stringify that the selected flight, okay? And we specify that the header is content type application JSON. But those who watched the previous video, why I was suffering is because I removed this, thinking I'm a genius, and I'm not. If you remember, yesterday, this was the issue. Okay, then of course I waited that, and now I'm logging it. But ideally, what's supposed to happen, okay, is to have this selected flight, okay, to set the selected flight. So what I'm going to do here is this. First of all, I want to get rid of this smoke data, okay. We don't need this smoke data, okay. But before that, I want to show you something. If I clear this and refresh, you see we get data, okay. Okay, this is missing. Why is it missing? Because it doesn't. But if I let me see, for it to fix that, we have to do this, okay. That's why you see, when on the other end we might have to persist something, okay. So this is the result, okay. We're getting that result from here, console.log data, okay. This is what we get. We get data, okay, whose type, remember, it has a type saying flight offers pricing. It has a list of, it has flight offers, okay. In our case, of course, one flight offer. It has booking requirements, okay, like a mobile phone number, an email address. We have traveler requirements, okay. So you see the travel requirements, we have 30 travelers, because remember, in the what, in the form, we specify that we wanted what, 3 travelers, okay. So we have here the information about the travelers that is required, the date of birth, the document required, the gender required, all these things, okay. Then we have for the second one and the third person. It's always important to understand the structure of the JSON. Then there's also this one you call result, okay, having things like data, dictionary, etc, okay. And the mock data that I had here, I think this mock pricing data, was of type flight pricing data. If you open this flight pricing data, okay, you see it tries to follow that same shape, okay. If I can show you again, okay, are you seeing this data object? This data is this one here, data. Then I'm seeing here dictionaries, blah 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 blah. It's supposed to, is kind of referring to this, okay. So what I want to do, okay, is to get rid of all this, okay, of this mock data, and use the real data. And it's the time. Wow, it's 2 minutes to the hour. Okay, let me see what I can do in 2 minutes. If I'm not able to rush through it, then I'll do it offline, okay? Because my main focus, I want it to be on the integration. I don't want to spend time designing, doing Tailwind CSS and not here. I personally don't enjoy that part of web development, having to work with Tailwind or CSS. But I enjoy seeing the design coming out nice. Okay, let us fix that. Right now it should fail, okay? Because I see what it's saying, flight offer equals to mocking price dot offer 0, okay? It is depending on this, okay? This is now not there anymore, okay? So we need to get the flight offer, okay? To get the flight offer, we need to get this, okay? It has to be set to the selected flight, okay? So I can actually, if I come here, you see it is broken, okay? So instead of this, I can copy this name, remove this, okay, and change the name of this, okay, to select it to flight offer. Then even this is not being used, I can remove it for now, okay. Then here, when we have confirmed the price, Oh, I'm seeing an issue. Are you seeing this? We're making a request using this selected flight, and then we had changed the name. Okay. So let me redo this. So this is what we're using here. Okay. Kind of tricky. So what I'm going to do is this. Okay. I'm going to do this. Let me see. Where is this? Where is this? Where is this? Okay. I removed everything else. I can also still remove that. I can come here and say const. Okay. All right. Actually, it's actually suggesting from what I wanted to do. We want to use state. Okay. Say flight offer. Can do autocomplete. Okay. So flight offer. The flight offer we're interested in. I function to set that flight offer using useState, which is simply having that flight offer. And by default, it will be the selected flight, this one here. But in case the price is confirmed to be different, here we can change it. Okay. How do we change it? Our store has a function. Okay. We go to our store, this function called up select flight. Okay. We can use it. I can come here and come and say const. Okay. Const select flight. Remember, this is not selected flight, but select flight. Select flight is the function will be equals to use flights. Okay. State dot select flight. This one is state dot selected flight. This is the actual data. This one is the function for setting the selected flight. So here, after console.log, I'll say select flight equals to data, like that. So let's go back. Design. There seems to be a syntax error somewhere. Cannot read properties undefined of weight. Okay, here. I seen this. Const total price equals to flight offer dot pricings dot blah blah blah. Okay. It can't calculate that anymore. So let us check the data. Oh, what I can do is this. Because this type has nothing like pricings. Okay, just has price. Okay. So what we can do here, say total price equals to flight offer dot price. Like that. Okay. But you see now we have several issues. Okay. In the GSX. If I scroll, I think we have this for the segment. Where so many of them. Okay, we have this one here also for the segment still. Okay, because the types don't actually what match. There's this one here again for traveler pricings. Okay, so many. So to keep it simple, is this actually I'm going to just redesign it. Okay, so I don't have to hustle so much. So I'll do this, select this, and boom, remove that. Okay, so you see it is clean. Okay, no issue. And we come here, we see the data. Okay, flight offers, and it is 1. Okay, so I want to show you something also. This for now can also go away. This formatting function may not actually work. Okay, I'll just recreate them myself. Sometimes it's good to maybe just create your designs from scratch instead of vibe coding it out and you hustle. So remember this property data, this data object we printed has a number of what? Objects. Okay. So it's data. Okay. So if I say data dot flight offers, that let me just print on another line. Data dot flight. Come on. Flight offers, okay, at index 0. Okay, like this. Then yeah, just log it like that. I want you to see my plan, okay? So it makes sense. What issue are they talking about? Cannot read properties undefined of 0. Remove this. Okay, of course, it's not the issue. What attributes were there? Are you seeing this? Data, is it data.data? I need the network tab. Where are you? Response. So I think there's a data key. This is how you know that someone is tired. Where's the console? But look at this. Okay, I'm right. You get. I just have to make sure it is. Who knows this operator? This operator here. I'm forgetting its name. It has a name in JS. I'm forgetting its name. So you see, now in that case, we don't get the error, okay? Because I've now accessed it the right way, okay? So you see now we get the actual flight offer with the ID, blah, 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 blah. This is what we want, okay? The flight offer with the actual proven price. Actually, this is not making me to think on the back end. I'm going to change it in such a way that we don't have to say data.data, okay? It should be data.flight offers directly. This question mark has a name in JavaScript, but simply it is meant there. It's put there like for null safety, okay? So that you don't try to access data if it is null before it is defined. That's what that question mark means, but I'm forgetting its name. Probably a sign I need to revise my JavaScript. Oh my god. Tired for Friday. 7 minutes past the hour. So yeah, I guess I can relax for now since we have hit the goals for today. The first goal was to fix yesterday's bug, and secondly, to have persistent storage. Okay, so I guess I'm going to redesign this page, and then yeah, we move on to now other things. Okay, but of course, while designing it, there are things that need to be considered. Okay, like on this page, let me just tell you the plan before we end this. What I'm going to design here, okay, is going to be similar to what you saw before, okay, but should display all this, okay. For example, like the itineraries, okay. Every itinerary has a segment, okay. So these segments have to be shown, okay. Okay. For example, like the number of stops. This one has 0 stops. The duration, the departure, okay, like the airport code, the terminal, the departure date and time, okay. If you look at the aircraft code has to be there, okay. When you arrive, okay. Arrival information at this time. This is the code of the airport you're going to arrive to. At the terminal, you have to use the carrier code, all these things, the aircraft code, okay. So this is the first segment. So every segment has the arrival information, the departure information, the duration, okay, the segment number, the number of stops, the aircraft code. Just have that in your mind. All that has to be displayed, okay. The arrival, so arrival, okay, and departure have similar information, okay. So if I open this, you see that arrival at means the arrival time. Under departure at means departure, the time you're going to depart, the date and time you're going to depart. Okay. The IATA code refers to the code of the city or the airport you're going to. Okay. Even here refers to the code of the city or the airport you're going to. And these are terminology that you're going to use at the airport. Similar things. Okay. This is simply the code of the aircraft of the plane you're going to use. Okay. Then you have the carrier code. I'm not sure about these O2 emissions. Okay. Oh, but it's crazy. I was reading this as CO as carbon dioxide. Crazy. I was reading it as carbon dioxide emissions. I'm crazy. Okay, but I think it's showing information about the cabin. Because I mean, if you open here, you see the telling it's a business class, the weight, okay, and the unit is kilograms. Even this has to be displayed. I need to Google what this means. Let me see CO2 emissions. I think I was actually my mind was giving me the right thing, but it's not. This is not in travel. I'm sure that's not the case. Okay, so it's the first segment. The second segment has the same information: aircraft arrival, carrier code, departure, the duration, etc. Okay, the same kind of information. Then so this is what the itineraries has. Okay, then you have here the price. Okay, but what we're interested in is the grand total. Okay, so there are so many things. They tell the billing currencies is in USD dollars. Okay, then they have a number of fees. Okay, the fees, like for example, this is the fees of the supplier. In this case, the supplier is charging $0. Okay, the one who's going to give you ticketing is charging you $0. Form of payment, nothing, no fees for that. Then here in pricing options, you see the fare type, published, blah blah blah. Okay. What else can I show you? That needs to be shown. Okay, on that page. If I open, of course, the type is flight offer, traveler pricings. Okay. So you see for the every traveler, okay, maybe they could have probably different, can I call them different what? Prior pricings, okay? Because remember we choose adults, okay? For the adult that we chose, remember the price, I like this, they show the refundable taxes, but the total is their total, okay? For taxes, you can read about them here, okay? And we can display them if we need them, okay? But I'll just show the total, okay? This is the total, okay? For the first person an adult. The next one, okay, you find that is traveler type is a child. Remember, we chose a child, okay? This that the child has a price also, okay? It's the total. Then next up we have the third, who is a held infant, okay? If you go to the price of the held infant, you see the total very small, very very small. For infants, it's actually cheap because they'll be carried. Then validating airline codes. Okay, you have an error to help you validate airline codes. Yeah, so this is what I'm going to design. Okay, here. Okay, but I don't have to spend time here designing it. It will take long. Trust me, when I'm working with HTML, Tailwind, JSX, I'm pretty slow. Okay, and I guess I'll actually just use AI. I'll just create a nice prompt with this and tell AI about this format. Okay, then I give it to redesign that page, and I'll show you. Okay, so yeah, going forward, we shall do other things. I'm thinking of making longer streams, or I want maybe probably tomorrow and Sunday every morning I finish the introduction to Kubernetes. Because those of you might have noticed I have Kubernetes series where I learn Kubernetes every morning. I can do that for tomorrow and on Sunday only. Then the coming week I try to focus on finishing the MVP. Okay, at least the integration. If I can do the bare bone integration, I'll be happy. Other designs can be done offline and I can share with you as time goes. Yeah, because it's quite sometimes designing can be quite tasking. Okay, so yeah, the goal for me will be simply to get this flight data and represent it in a nice way in this div. Okay, as simple as that. So I don't know if anybody has a question before I drop off, but I feel like we have achieved the purpose of today. We have achieved today's goal. All right. Thank you, everybody. For those who are learning with me Kubernetes, let's meet in the morning.